Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we are doing a massive unhaul. If you are new to my channel, welcome back. I do a lot of book hunting here where I go to thrift stores, Goodwills, library bookstores, library book sales, and I'm able to find books between 50 cents and around $5. Most of them are around 50 cents to the $2 range. So I do a lot of hauls over on this channel. I do a lot of themed hauls as I have different types of readathons that I haul for, and I'm able to get like a lot of books for a very inexpensive price, which is kind of a dangerous thing to have. I also have a lot of bookish friends that will send me things that they think that I might like or trade me for things, and so there's just a lot of influx of books coming and going. The shelves that you see me film behind are all TBR books except for like one little half shelf. I have all of my read books in a different shelf or in a different closet in other rooms. I haven't designated like a super good spot for all the ones that I have read and that I want to keep, but because I haul a lot of things, we run out of room very quickly. I usually like to do an unhaul at least twice a year, and I particularly like to do one this time of year because I'm getting ready to switch over my shelves for Halloween. I like to flip them all backwards so it has like a more kind of spooky setting to it. I got this idea from Hardback Hoarder like years and years ago, and then I take all of my like fall Halloween reads because I'm a big seasonal reader, and then any buddy reads or things that I want to do for the rest of the year, as well as all my holiday books, and they are all somewhere else so they're easily accessible, but everything else gets flipped. When I do that, I like to create a little bit more spaces like this so I can put some decor and different things. I'll link all of my hauls and unhauls and past decorating videos down below in the description, but normally I have the shelves like full on stacked all the way, and so when I flip them around to decorate, I have to remove some to leave room to put decor and different things. I have a better plan for it this year, but I thought doing like a giant unhaul would really help, especially because I have some books piled in other rooms now, which I really try to avoid. So this is a massive stack. I'm not sure the exact amount. We'll talk about that at the end, but I'm gonna guess it's like over 50 or 60 books. Some of these I have read and I did not like, but most of them are TBR books, and they're ones that I just don't think I'm going to get to anytime soon, and I can always get them later, or they're ones that I see a lot when I'm like out hunting, so I can go and get them there. While I do listen to most of my books on audio, I do like to have them on hand for Instagram photos and for recommendations, and I just like to have a giant fun library. So that being said, we're doing a massive unhaul today. There will be hauls probably posted really soon after this. I have different piles for hauls that I collect over the course of the year with like different themes and things. So we do unhauls and hauls kind of close together, but the books that I have in my hauls are not necessarily ones that I have gotten like this month. They're ones that I have kind of collected over the past like year, depending on the theme. I hope all of this makes sense. I have gone through all of my shelves, my red shelves, my TBR shelves, my special edition shelves, my future hauls that I haven't hauled yet, like every room that had a pile of books I went through and I assessed, and we're doing a big unhaul to kind of clear out some space. This haul is not necessarily going to be things that I like hate and don't recommend. I just have different reasons for things. We're not going to go over a lot of synopsis because there's so many to get through, but I know you guys love to see a good unhaul. Maybe this will inspire you to refresh your shelves as well. So we're just gonna get started. Okay, first up, I have a dilemma that you guys can kind of help me with. When I was going through my fantasy stack that I have not hauled for you guys yet, I had 2 copies of Seraphina in hardback. This is part of a dragon duology in the young adult world that is really well beloved, and it's actually slightly harder to find these hardbacks out like thrifting. The second book's a little easier to find. Originally thought when I hauled these that I had the second one but not the first one, and I wound up with 2 copies. So I have a dilemma because I love both covers. I think this sticker is removable. This is like a special edition. This, however, will probably go better with the second book, so I'm very torn. I have some friends telling me to keep both, but you guys let me know, should I keep both of them or which one should I unhaul? So this is kind of undecided right now, but I wanted to put this at the top of the video. Alright, I feel a little bit guilty about this because I'm unhauling a couple books that I just recently hauled for a retelling themed book haul, but I gathered them like several months ago, and I know that I did not get to them for this year's round of Retoldathon, which is my retelling themed readathon, and I feel like I have so many other retellings to get to that I'm gonna let these go for now, and I can always get them later. But I have Disenchanted, The Trials of Cinderella. This does look really cute. It's a middle grade series, but like I said, I just have so many retellings to get to that I'm trying to kind of keep it a little bit lower. So I'm gonna unhaul this one for now, but it is middle grade, so you can check it out if you're interested. They both die at the end. You guys might be able to convince me to keep this. I am just not big on contemporary reads, and I know this is contemporary with a little bit of like a sci-fi element to it. This is a young adult novel. I know about two young men, and in this world we are able to know when we are going to die. I think they text you or call you and will be like, you have 1 day to live or 2 days to live. And both of these young men kind of bond when they get the call. So they both die at the end. I know this is like heartbreaking and sad, and I don't always love that. I'm really kind of here for more of like a grand adventure. I don't mind getting my heart ripped out if it's like a fantasy, but if it's more of like a contemporary sad book, I'm not sure that I'm going to love it. So I know I can find this one again, but we're gonna unhaul it for now. The Floating Islands. This one looks really, really good. This is by Rachel Numere. I honestly just hauled this because it had an island, and I always haul island things for like Mermaid Marathon, but I don't know anything about it. I'm not gonna read the synopsis, and this is a paperback. I try to keep mostly hardback, so we can kind of get this sometime in the future if I am looking for it. We have Toxic Heart. This is part of the Mystic City series. I know this is just like an old school YA dystopian. It could be fabulous, but I have a lot of other ones to get to first. Outlaws by Jen Kalanita. Again, another like retelling themed book. This is like a Robin Hood retelling. It's part of the Royal Academy Rebels. I have quite a few middle grade series to get through, quite a few retellings to get through, so we're just gonna unhaul this for now because I think it's part of a large series. Okay, next we have part of fantasy series. I know I've unhauled these in other videos, so you guys are gonna laugh at me. I found both of these in the past for like $1 or $2, and this is the Stormcaster and Shadowcaster Shattered Realm series from Cinda Williams Chima. They are beautiful. I've heard amazing things, but she has 3 other series I think that come before this, or at least 2 that I do own, and I've decided that I am not allowed to collect these until I read at least the first set in her series that I want to get to, because I just have so many fantasy series, and I actually don't get through fantasy book as often as I think I do because I do so many themed readathons and things, and the fantasy books don't always fit well for those categories, so unhauling for now. Okay, next I have 3 like kind of cozy fantasy murder mysteries, which could all be fabulous, but I have so many like fall spooky reads to get through. And again, with all of these books, I can get to almost all of them on audio and then like find them later if I like really love them. So we have Howl of Wolves. It just says it's a mystery. I just picked these up because they were like 50 cents. Terror in the Taffeta. It's like a wedding mystery. And The Curse of the House Foskett. So again, these could be great, but I have so many mysteries that I need to get to first. Letters to the Lost by Bridget Camere. Again, this is kind of like in that they both die at the end category. So I know this is a contemporary. I know it's like a girl writing like love letters to people that she has lost, and it's very like heartbreaking and sad. Contemporary young adult novel, and I don't feel like I'm gonna like this one. All right, more middle grade. My middle grade shelf took a big hit this time around because I was like, I'm only gonna keep a few series and some really popular standalones. Okay, so The Lost Kingdom of Bemere by Gail Carson Levine. This looks incredible. It sounds really good, but I'm just thinning out that shelf. And then Ronan Boyle, The Bridge of Riddles. Again, just another long middle grade series. Looks super cute, but unhauling. We have Echo. I've heard this one is super, super good. I don't even remember what it's about, but again, we're just thinning out that particular shelf and only keeping the ones that I feel like I'm gonna get to in the next like year or 2. The Queen of Ruin by Tracy Banghart. The first one in this duology is Grace and Fury, and my friend really loved it, but again, another fantasy series I just don't think I'm gonna get to for a long time. I don't even have the first book, so we're gonna unhaul. Okay, I went back and forth on this because they're so pretty, and I love this author's other books, but Bethrothed and The Betrayed. I believe I talk about these in my June reading wrap up or May. I will link it down below. This is actually like a very fun buddy read. I love the selection from Kira Cass. I love her Siren book. I've heard her latest books are also very good, but this series was kind of a disaster. Like, I wasn't even sure what the plot was. It was really twisty, but in like the weirdest way. It had the most bizarre ending. Like, things were super strange. It didn't really feel like her other books. The romance was really like plain and boring. They aren't hard to read. You can get through them very quickly, but these were like 2.5 stars for me. It was just very, very odd. This almost felt more like a debut novel, which was really strange. I had a blast buddy reading this with a friend because we reread this one to read the second one just because I was really curious, and we had a great time because it's really wild and ridiculous. And I debated on keeping it just for recommending for those purposes, but I think we are going to unhaul because I need the room. Dark Parties by Sarah Grant. This one has a cool premise. Again, kind of like a dystopian setting where we are like cut off rest of the world and things, but again, I just have a lot of dystopians that I want to get to first, so unhauling. Fuse, book 2 of the Pure trilogy. I don't have the first one. I don't even remember what this is about. Possibly Angels. I just remember I liked the cover and I got it for $1, but we're gonna unhaul. Something in the Water by Catherine Steadman. I read this one in July. I will link my July reading wrap up down in the description as well. I really liked her first book that I read. She's an adult mystery thriller writer, and Catherine Steadman's also like an actress. She narrates her audiobooks, which is fabulous. I really liked the first one I read, even though it was like silly and over the top and ridiculous. I was hoping this one would be more tropical, ocean, islandy in the atmosphere, but that's only like a small portion of the book, and then it turns into kind of like a cop detective thriller, which I didn't fully love. And then the way that things twisted and turned, I didn't fully love. I do love her audiobooks. She narrates them really well, but this was like a 2.5 star for me, so I don't need to keep it. And then sadly, Through the Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bador. I read this entire trilogy finally last year. I started it during last year's Retellings, and I did enjoy it. It's a unique take on Alice in Wonderland. I think this is set in like the World War II era, and Lewis Carroll actually comes and like talks to Alice and kind of creates the story, but the audiobooks are kind of weird. I'll let you guys know. There's like weird things that happen in the audiobooks with the sound and effects and things. It's a very old series. I think it's like 20 years old. And I read the second book, and then I felt like I was going to make myself read the third book, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I DNF'd it, already unhauled those two, and I was like, I'll just keep this one for recommending. But honestly, there are a lot of other Alice in Wonderland retellings that I think are a lot better. If you're like a diehard fan, this is still like a decent one. It's just not one I feel like I'm going to recommend a lot. I have this problem too where I want to like keep all retellings. So we're getting over that. Next, we have some graphic novels. So I read the Explorer, the mystery boxes for Hikeathon this year, my like nature fitness themed readathon, and I was hoping these vibes were what the book was going to be about, but this is actually a collection of short stories. They all have different like art. It's a middle grade, and they were all different types of stories, and I was really hoping for like these nature like treasure hunting elements, and there was only one story that had that in here. And these were all cute and fun, but it's just something I don't feel like I'm going to read again. And then I have the next in the series, Explorer the Lost Islands and Explore the Hidden Doors. Again, these are all like short stories and they don't like tie together or anything, so I think I'm just gonna unhaul these for now. Another graphic novel, Ghosts. I read this one last year for Not So Scary-a-thon. The art style is really cute, but I just didn't fully connect with it. Like there's these girls and they move to this small town and they have to try and like fit in and bring their customs, and like the town's really obsessed with ghosts. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, and I don't think I'll be reading it again. In Evil Times, The Imperial Saga by Melinda Snodgrass. This one is part of the Imperial Saga series. I think I have two of these, so I scoured everywhere and I couldn't find it. I picked these up at Dollar Tree because they looked like they were space related literally years ago, but I have so many sci-fi books to get to. I think I have almost more sci-fi books than anything else, and I just don't see myself getting to these anytime soon. Another JLA book, Stone Cold Touch. This again is another spin-off of another series, and I don't need like a random one before I read the ones before it. Wicked Like a Wildfire. Now I read the first chapter of this for Not So Scary-a-thon, and then I realized it would be better for like a different readathon. And it's about witches and has like plant magic and flower magic, and it was absolutely incredible. But I recently found a hardback that I'll be hauling soon, so we're gonna unhaul the paperback version. Then Anne of Avonlea. So I absolutely love these covers. They're like my favorite Anne of Green Gables covers. I want like the full set of all of the Anne books, but I have not gone around to buying the other ones, and I honestly would prefer to have hardback. This is book 2. I've only read the first book in the Anne series, and I would love to read all of them. So we're gonna unhaul this for now and then just look for a different set in the future. The Dollmaker of Krakow. I don't know much about this. I know there's like a doll that comes to life. Again, it's coming from that middle grade pile. It's set during World War II, which is not my favorite era to read about. Sometimes they get very hard and dark to read. So again, just another middle grade I'm letting go of. And then lastly, the Game of Thrones graphic novels. I think I have 3 of these that I traded with for a friend like years and years ago. These are gorgeous. Like they're so pretty and they represent the books really, really well. But I don't see myself rereading these like again, and I don't feel like I need to hang on to them for whatever reason. So we are going to unhaul these to save room. Okay, I think that is all that I'm unhauling for now. I feel like it was a good decent amount. I have 2.5 boxes worth that I'm going to either sell, trade, or add to Little Free libraries depending on like the condition that they're in and all that kind of stuff. I usually send pictures to friends for like trading and buying, and then I have bookstores that will buy back books, and there's like a whole process for that. So let me know if I unhauled anything that you love down below in the comments. You probably won't be able to change my mind, but you know, it's worth a shot. Let me know if you do unhauls fairly regularly. I usually do at least one big one like this a year, but I think I've done 2 or 3 this year so far. Some of them were books that I just read and no longer wanted to keep. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure and check out all those other videos that I'll link down below in the description and up in the cards. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl for more fun, and I'll see you guys next time on The Bright Side.